talking about the balance outstanding on a loan. So, the word balance outstanding is self-explanatory. It simply means how much are you left with after paying the amount which you have paid on a loan. Let's say I've taken a loan for 1,000 and the value of the loan at this moment is 2,000. So, if I have paid, let's say 1.5 already, then how much am I left with for me to pay? Well, I'm left with 2,000 minus 1.5, right? So in order for me to know how much I'm left with, I'm just going to take the 2,000 and subtract the 1,500, and this will give me the amount which I'm left with. So this means I'm left with 500 to pay. So now it also makes sense in the real context of present value. So if I've got a loan amount which is present value, this loan has gained some interest over time, right? Because remember that interest will be gained either monthly, quarterly, or half yearly, depending on the compounding period. So if I've taken a loan which is PV, let's call the value of the loan P. This is the loan amount. And I have paid a certain amount future value. I've saved a certain amount in order for me to pay towards the loan. So how much am I owing? Our outstanding balance everywhere is equal to the loan with interest, which is P, multiplied by 1 plus the interest rate to the power of n minus the future value. So we must know the outstanding balance as the loan with interest. So this amount here, which I've written as P, will be the amount of the loan, okay, which I have taken. And then the whole of this expression over here, the whole of this one, will give me the loan with interest. So P is just the loan amount which I have taken, and then the whole of this bracket gives me the total loan after it has gained interest. So the outstanding balance is therefore equal to P multiplied by 1 plus the interest rate to the power of n minus, we know the formula for the future value, it's x multiplied by 1 plus the interest rate to the power of n minus 1, and everything will be divided by I. So when they say to you calculate the balance outstanding after a certain period, then you must know. So in this case, n stands for the number of payments which I have already made. Okay, so remember, whenever you see future value, you have to know that the value of n which you'll put here is the same value of n which you'll put here. But we know that for future value, the value of n tells us the number of payments that has been made already. Okay, so here the value of n will be the number of payments which I've made. And I continue to say this. If they say 5 years, if they say to you, the person is paying for 5 years, but then the interest is being compounded monthly, remember the payments are not 5 payments, but then it's every 12 months for a period of 5 years, meaning it's 12 times 5, which is 60 payments. So take note of the compounding period, that n is not the number of years, but is the number of compounding periods. Okay, so the value of n here will represent the number of payments which you have made already. So the balance outstanding on a loan is equal to the loan with interest. So this part over here will give us the loan with interest. Okay, so if they say a person took a loan of 1,000, you're not gonna put 1,000 here on this expression. You're gonna say 1,000 and then you multiply it by this bracket. So the whole of this part here will give you the loan with interest, and the 100, which is the value of the loan, the amount of the loan which you took, you will put it here on P. Okay, so that makes sense to everyone. And remember again that n stands for the number of payments which have already been made. So this is how we can calculate the balance outstanding on a loan. So it simply means how much am I left with after paying a certain amount. Okay, and this is the formula which will give you. We've got a second formula. The present value formula gives you the balance outstanding itself. So in other words, the present value formula itself is the balance outstanding. Okay, so but you must only make sure that you are able to use one. Okay, so if maybe you are given the interest the loan amount and you are comfortable with this formula, then you can know this formula. But then we also have a second formula for calculating the balance outstanding, which is the formula for the present value. So it says that PV is equal to X multiplied by 1 minus 1 plus the interest rate to the power of negative n, and everything divided by I. So this one you don't modify it. The formula, the way it is, will give you the balance outstanding. It's present value. So remember, present value gives you the money and at interest. So how much am I left with? Okay, so X will be the monthly payments which I'm making, and then the N will be the number of payments which are left. Okay, so if I'm supposed to settle the loan with 60 payments and I've made 40 payments, what is the value of N? It's not 40, but it's 60 minus 40, which is 20. So it's the number of payments which are left. Okay, so whenever you're dealing with the present value formula, just know that this is the number of payments left. But then when working with the future value, the N represents the number of payments made. So if it was a future value, we were going to say a person made 40 payments. Okay, so this is how we can calculate the balance outstanding on a loan. And thank you for watching.